personality and who I am as a person. Again, it's very difficult for you who are just meeting me to really fathom who I am as a person. And I can just try to tell you that I was literally, like I said, that kid that I would know the answers in class, and I would never raise my hand. I was that kid that threw up on himself because I knew I had it about it, but I wouldn't raise my hand because I was so afraid to raise my hand and tell a teacher how to go to the bathroom. I was that kid. I was very, very, very shy. As an adult, again, I still to this day, I can do this, and if I had to go to a social gathering after that, you probably hear me say 2 or 3 words. I'm going to sit in the back. If you come over to me and talk to me, I'll talk to you, but it's just a very difficult thing for me. What I like to call socially challenged. It's very, very difficult for me to do that. In life, again, it's a process. God puts certain things in our hands. As a youngster, the thing that I was blessed with was athletic ability. I was a very good basketball player. And I will show you how things come full circle with our fears. And it will show you how you have to navigate through it. I was an above average basketball player, but that social challenge for me affected that. Physically, I can do whatever I wanted to do on a basketball court. But what would happen is that my parents were smart because they wanted to keep my brother and me off the streets. We actually live in this neighborhood, which is a pretty good neighborhood, but they like, and now that I have kids, I understand that. They like the fact that the boys in the backyard. So all the kids from the neighborhood would come to my backyard and another neighbor. Between those 2 yards, we were there 12 hours a day, no problem. Me, a lot of guys were there 5 hours there for 12. That's what I did. But I never left that yard. In order to get better, you have to leave the yard. You have to go to the park. But when I would go to school, people would say, wow, this kid can play. And they would come to my house. And they, why don't you come to the park with us? And you know the first word out of my mouth? No. I gotta wash the car, I gotta shampoo the rug. I'm not going. No. That was the first thing out of my mouth was no. It's basketball tryouts. You have to be going. No. I gotta go wash the dishes, man. I can't go no basketball tryouts. But the reason why I was doing that because I was afraid. Not necessarily to play, but just the social part of it. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anybody asking me. I was uncomfortable with that. I was uncomfortable with the attention. The few times I would go to the park, it was really weird because people would know who I was. I didn't know who they were, but they had heard about me, and it was so uncomfortable to me. You could hear me, hey, that's the kid, that's him, that's what I'm telling you about. And I would want to go home, and this is uncomfortable. I don't want a part of that. I'd go, I'd do what I have to do, but I wouldn't go back. To this day, that bothers me, to this day, because it's like something that's open in my life that I don't know what could have happened. I don't know how far I could have gone. I don't know. So that's something that has bothered me throughout my life. Fast forward. There's a lot in the middle there, but I'm going to fast forward now to 4 years ago when the opportunity was revealed to me about doing this. This was something that I always had in me, but I never knew how can I articulate that. I knew that I didn't even have a name for it. I didn't even know the name of this was mental conditioning. I just kind of knew there was a certain type of thinking that I had that I was curious about, and I was curious, like, why don't people think that way? And through all of this research, through all of my writing, I had to come up with mental conditioning. And then, again, sometimes God puts things in our lives that we don't understand, but everything kind of fell into place at the same time, and I understood, and I was exposed to public speaking. So, again, what a curse, if you would, because the one thing that I don't want to do, I'm being forced into. Not forced, but this is the direction that I have to go. I know, for the first time in my life since basketball, I have a passion to do this. Again, when I used to play basketball, I would be outside literally for 12 hours a day. And I loved it. It was not something that I just loved it. When I do this, I found that same passion. But I still got a problem now. That fear has not gone away. It's 25 years later, and that fear is still there. So the same thing happens. Sometimes, as I said, I'm quiet, but if you come to me and talk to me, and you mention mental conditioning, my wife will tell you, I can't go. We've been on cruises. I went downstairs to iron the clothes, and my wife was like, what happened? I went up for 2 hours, because I met a guy in there, and we started talking about different things that led to mental conditioning. This guy lived in North Carolina, man, can you come and speak? But here's the thing that I learned. And this is the last point, and this is the biggest word, adjustments. In life, you have to be able to make adjustments. Because you know the adjustment that I made? Instead of me telling people, because it happens all the time, instead of me, someone will come to me like, can you come and speak? What's my first reaction in my head, no, 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 no. But I had to make the adjustment. Did I overcome my fear? Do I say, yeah? No, I still don't do that. But you know what? I go say, you know what? Let me get back to you tomorrow. I gotta check my schedule. I know I'm free. But now I give myself a chance to go home, assess it, and say, you know what? I can do it. Because even when I played basketball, I would regret saying no. They would say, why don't you come to the park? No, 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 no. Later on in that evening, I'm like, I should have went. But now I put myself in a position to where it's still open. Why don't you come and speak for me at the school? Why don't you come and speak for me at this organization? Let me check my schedule. Then I go home, think about it, and if I'm really having trouble, I'm going to show you how networking is a part of it too. If I'm really having trouble, I'll tell my wife. These people ask me to speak. It's all open English. She's going to be like, you're going. So that's just a part of the process. Sometimes you have to bring in other people to help during that process. Sometimes it's not just you. Sometimes you will never be able to do it by yourself, but you have to be able to recognize that fear and recognize the tools that you have in your toolbox that you need to pull out in order for you to use. And the last toolbox that when I'm really having trouble fixing it, I might have to refer to my wife. I have another men's organization that I belong to, Mobile Men's Leadership Society. We meet every 2 weeks. We also sit down and bounce things off of each other. So it's a multitude of things. Sometimes it may be serious where you may need to see a doctor, you know what I mean? Things happen. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I will open up the floor if anybody has any questions, concerns, or comments. This is what I love to do.